The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of KSMQ Public Service Media Incorporated or its assigns.
Welcome to On Cue. I'm your host, Eric Olson. Today we meet a young man who has music running through his veins. Joshua Wahlen gives us a sample from his latest album. Coach Justin Morris and senior Ann Rashavi from Lyle Pacelli Basketball will be here to talk about their very successful season. And Kristen Olson joins us with the latest from the Vision 2020 committees. Stay with us. On Cue is next.
From KSMQ Television in Austin, this is On Cue, connecting interesting issues and interesting people. On Cue.
Glad you're joining us this week. Joshua Wahlen is a musician from Austin who pours his heart and soul into his songs. He's here today to give us a preview of his newest work. Welcome to the program, Joshua. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Eric.
We met a couple years ago doing some local theater, and we knew you had the musical skills and heard about that during rehearsals and stuff as our shows were going on. But now you've gone and made a business out of it, trying to get your name out there and writing your own songs and everything. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Thanks, Eric.
How did you make this decision to really go at it full time?
Well, that's a very good question. I've always loved music, and I've always, kind of wanted to be a performer in some aspect. When I was younger, I wanted to be a TV star, and then I picked up a guitar when I was 16, and, I fell in love with it.
So you started playing like music you heard on the radio or something?
I just started to imitate things that I liked. I'd hear something on the radio, and I'd try to imitate it, I'd try to play it. And I was so fascinated with songwriters like Bob Dylan and Phil Collins. I remember was one of the first, I listened to his songs and they were so powerful, and I didn't even really know what they meant when I first heard them, but I knew they were powerful, and I just fell in love with the craft of songwriting. And just kept doing it, and I decided, I told myself, this is the only thing I want to do. I love this. And it's a tough business, and people tell you that, but if you love something, you're just going to do it. And so I just kind of buckled down and said, this is me and this is my life. And
now there are some tools that you have these days that maybe other musicians didn't have, like the internet, Facebook, as far as marketing. But you made the point that you when you're just a one-person operation, you have to do all the marketing, I suppose, promoting yourself, trying to get jobs, places. Are you just on the phone a lot?
Oh yeah, on the phone, emailing, and it's because you're your own manager, your own A&R, your own promotion, and we definitely have the tools now to do it ourselves where you never used to, but it's still difficult. You learn the business, and I'm always sending emails, press kits, things like that, sending demos of my recordings. Making relationships is huge. You got to go out there and meet people. It's so much to it. And I've kind of fallen in love with the business side of it too. When I started out, I was like, can't I just get a record deal and have somebody else do this stuff? I mean, I don't want to do this. And I started meeting people, and I started getting out there and making friendships, and just really started to love the business side of it too.
How do you come up with an idea when you write a song?
There's a lot of different ways. Me particularly, I like to grab my guitar and strum around or play something, kind of get a mood and start singing nonsense words and stuff. And a lot of times it's like I'm fishing. I have a feeling that I want to express, and I got this mood I'm in. And so I'm just playing, and I'm fishing through my mind for ideas, and I'm saying words, and sometimes a phrase will come out, and you stop and you're like, okay, that's the phrase I'm looking for, or that's, the specific thing I'm looking for. And then I go from there and I start to craft the song out of that, writing the rest of the lyrics, creating a story.
Josh Wahlen is here from Austin. Would you mind playing us a little tune?
Brother, stand up strong and don't be scared. Chase them dreams of ours. I'll be with you and never fear. Close them heavy eyes, and I will find my way. Sisters, keep me close in your thoughts. No need to let go. Keep your eyes ahead and never stop. Your future is bright, and I will find my way.
You play in Rochester, you've been in Austin, down to Chicago even. Folks can catch your act around here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always all around Minnesota. Iowa, I've started getting into Iowa, and Chicago. Yeah, I'll be in Chicago March 1st, and I'm always posting dates on my website at www.joshuawahlen.com. I have all my information on there. I'm on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff as well, but the website's a good launching point. You can go there and...
I know, you're the marketing guy too. I could tell that already. And your new disc, talk a little bit about that coming out?
Yeah, The Winter. It's coming out in April, so it's kind of a funny time to release an album called The Winter. But it's going to be an EP with 7 songs on it. Fear's going to be on it, which was on my last album, but the rest of the songs are all going to be brand new.
And EP means, what does that mean?
An extended play, it's a little shorter than a long play. If you buy
than a CD, than a full-length CD,
yeah,
it's kind of fewer songs maybe?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So there'll be 7 songs on that versus, 12, 13, or however many else. So.
Congratulations for making the big transition and taking that step. It's pretty darn courageous, to step out and try it on your own in front of the stage all by your lonesome.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, but it's great.
Yeah, all right. Do you have a song you can play us out with from the new recording, as of yet unreleased?
Yeah. This is. There's only been a handful of people that have heard this song, so you guys will.
So this will be a second handful.
This will be a second.
Just kidding. We have many viewers out there, Josh.
Beautiful viewers too. And we'll do. I'll do Grandma's Porch off. It's kind of a reminiscent of childhood. That's kind of what the song's about. So it's kind of a reminiscent type song. So yeah, I'll lay that down for you guys.
Grandma's Porch, Joshua Wahlen. Thank you.
Closed my eyes the other day, and I saw your face, and as the skies faded gray, I went back to second grade. On Grandma's porch, playing in November rain, watching the wind blow the summer leaves away. And as the cold comes nipping at the neighbor's nose, on Grandma's porch, we laughed the days away. Oh, we laughed the days away. I awoke to the winter snow. I poured myself a cup of tea. I watched the kids play out the window. I went back to second grade on Grandma's porch, playing in the wind.
You can watch On Cue anytime by visiting the KSMQ TV website, ksmq.org.
Welcome back to On Cue, talking sports now. Lyle Pacelli Girls Basketball team really had an awesome season, and they have some wonderful players that have been just scoring crazy amounts of points. We're going to talk a little bit about that now. Justin Morris, head coach, and Ann Rashavi, the all-time leading point scorer from Lyle Pacelli, right?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long have you been playing basketball, and have you always liked it and just taken to it?
I started when I was in 5th grade for AYB around Austin area. At first I wasn't a huge fan of it, like kind of didn't really get along with the team kind of just wasn't really, it was like my first sport I ever started. But then as soon as I got going into it, it became one of my favorite ones, like my favorite sport to do.
Coach, you've come from, this is your second season down here. You've been from the cities coaching a lot also. You've probably seen the sport itself evolve and grow in your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. The sport has grown tremendously. I spent some time in the Twin Cities coaching in high school up there and also coaching in AAU. In the AAU scene, Amateur Athletic Union, which is kind of basically a traveling all-star league type of thing. You get kids that play in that environment, and that's really allowed the skill set of young ladies to grow. And in the competitive teams, you got kids that are playing basketball, in some cases all year round. And it's really been an interesting transformation, and it's been great for female athletes to have an opportunity to compete in the same stages that the male athletes do.
Right, and how about a regular season, folks, undefeated? Yeah, pretty exciting? No?
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Sort of?
Definitely.
Yep.
How did the season progress? Can you two just kind of run through, because seasons have kind of
Certainly.
ups and downs. Did you start on an up note, or how did it go?
Well, we went 23-0 in the regular season, which was fantastic. For the most part, we just had a tremendous amount of success. We got the ball rolling early and won some big games early and had some momentum and some success. And then from there on out, it was just a great process. We had great senior leadership, kids like Ann Rashavi.
And you're defeating teams like by 30 points, by 40 points, not just once, but like a lot.
It's crazy because when I first started varsity, we were losing by that plus more.
Really?
For LP. We went from my 7th grade year we were 0-24 to this season being 23-0 in the regular season. Like, it's been a huge change.
So what do you attribute that to?
Everyone, just all of our fans, our coaches for sticking behind us and believing in us to get where we are now, and just everyone working as hard as they can.
And that senior leadership coach, as you mentioned, with Ann, was very important. Yeah,
we had 3 outstanding senior leaders, certainly led by Ann, on and off the floor, and it's been a transformation of the entire program to go from a program that was at the bottom of the barrel to a program that's now gone to some new heights, and hopefully that process, we've talked a lot with Ann and our other seniors about leaving a legacy behind now, and hopefully that next age of freshmen, sophomores, and juniors can carry on the success that they've had and maybe even accomplish some things that they couldn't quite accomplish this year.
But the regular season is undefeated, and that's got to be a thrill. That's something you'll carry with for a long time, I would assume, that just that pride. That was a great year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we ran into a situation where we just didn't play probably the way we were capable of playing one night, and Blooming Prairie played well, and they deserved to win the basketball game, and so they moved on, and that's athletics. But like we've said, you know, at the end of the day, kids like Ann and our seniors and everybody are going to remember the whole process and the whole season and the success. We had far more success that'll stay with us in our minds and our hearts than one slip up in the postseason. So.
And we mentioned the undefeated thing being unusual. 1,000-point scores, and you had 3 of them, right, this year on your club. Talk about those folks. I mean, you had Sarah and Courtney, is that right? Also went over 1,000?
Yep, Sarah Holtz and Courtney Walter, who both went over 1,000 points. Sarah goes to Pacelli and Courtney goes to Lyle, and 2 great kids that are the future of our program, have learned from kids like Ann, and they'll continue to kind of take that torch on from here on out. But two very accomplished young basketball players. Ann had gone over 1,000 last year, and you know, as much as those individual accomplishments are great, all 3 of those kids did it within the course of the team, and always putting the team first. That's one thing that, you know, Ann did a great job of, especially as she's matured and gotten older. Is the team has always been the most important thing to her, and that's pretty cool to see out of a young person, to have that type of maturity.
Is it hard with your balancing the schoolwork to the practice schedule and so on? How do you do that?
I mean, you come to get used to it after playing for so long, being in like 3 different sports. You come to like make your time useful, get your work done as much as you can in school, and I mean, yeah, sometimes you're going to be up late with the away games, coming home at like 11:30, but it's all worth it, especially to win those big games.
Yeah, there's no way you're doing homework on the bus, right? Am I
No.
right? Yeah.
No.
Maybe when you get home, maybe.
Yeah, that's.
What about future plans? Now you're off to college, going to maybe continue to play?
Yep, I'm planning on going to Stout in Wisconsin, and I'm going to be playing basketball for them as of next year, being I'm a freshman. They're losing their shooting guard, their point guard, and they contacted me. I've been talking to them all season, and I finally committed with them.
University of Wisconsin Stout
Yep.
in Menominee, Wisconsin. So I don't know, will we get to see them? Are they in any conferences with anybody down here?
They'll play majority of the Wisconsin State schools. So they'll play, you know, UW Lacrosse and Eau Claire and things, teams like that. And then they might get into some kind of non-conference games against some of the MIAC schools. So they're Division III, and Division III in Minnesota would be the private institutions like St. Thomas and St. Mary's.
Because Tom Acey is at Sioux Falls.
Yep.
They play Winona State here once in a while next year. So hopefully we can cruise there. Maybe we can see you in a little non-conference.
I know Stout usually does play Winona State sometimes during the regular season. I saw that was one of the games they were playing.
And talking to your coach, you have another side sport that you excel at, a motorized kind. You want to talk about that for a minute?
I race motocross. I started racing it 6 years ago. There's a couple other kids in town, like my neighbors, that they raced, and they finally got me into it, and we bought a bike, and I've been doing it ever since.
What do you like about that? That's an individual sport, not a team.
I mean, it's tough, definitely. Like, you don't have anyone to rely on. It's just all you, but it's a huge adrenaline rush, and it's just something I really enjoy.
And I suppose all these years, your motocross racing had full support from Coach. No, not worried about injury at all. I would be worried. I don't know. You're not saying anything.
As a coaching staff, we had some jokes this summer about hoping she'd come back in one piece as a pretty important part of what we're trying to get accomplished. But it just shows the multiple skills that she has. A young lady that's not only a great athlete, but a great ambassador for Pacelli Catholic Schools, for the city of Austin, for Southern Minnesota. I mean, just a fantastic young lady that the community should be very proud of.
Absolutely, and congrats on your undefeated season.
Thank you.
Ann Rashavi, off to Stout next year. And Coach Justin Morris, thank you, and congratulations as well for an undefeated season.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us here on Cue. And we will be back with our Vision 2020 update when we come right back.
Queue up your own comments for On Cue and send them to us at onq@ksmq.org. On Cue's Vision 2020 segment is brought to you by Hormel Foundation, Games People Play, and Turtle Creek Estates.
And welcome back to On Cue. Time now for our Vision 2020 update. And joining us from the Business Friendly Environment Committee is Kristen Olson, who, for Truth in Labeling, is my wife. This is historic first that we've ever been on TV together.
Hi, Eric.
That sounded really weird. Okay, but your job here is to talk about the community concierge, which is something I'd never heard of, the term, but I can definitely relate to its need in the community, because as we were talking, 2 years into the community, and Kristen, you were looking for a way to engage in town, and it was somewhat of a challenge.
Right. I think that a lot of people who move to town, they don't really know how to make the connections. They don't know how to find employment for a trailing spouse. They don't know how to get their kids in schools. They don't know what we have to offer. They don't know what social things are here for them. They don't know the recreational opportunities, any kind of entertainment. And so this position is here to actually to help all those newcomers as they're considering Austin as their home, and also then once they have decided to move here, to help them actually get connected in the community.
And I think that's really an important focus of the position. At least it's interesting to me that this isn't just for like the old day welcome wagon for people who are already coming to Austin. We're kind of competing. This is kind of a competition. So somebody's coming to town, maybe they're going to come to work here, maybe not. And so you're there to kind of point them in the right direction to show the positive attributes.
Right. So I think my job really is to showcase the town and to let them know what we have available here. You know, so many people, they're driving by on I-90 and they may see the Institute, they'll see Hormel Foods, they may notice Riverland College, but they're not really going to know what the community has to offer unless they have someone show them around a little bit.
And what about social links? There's that term also. You try to find social links for these folks. What does that mean?
Well, one of the things we're going to try to do for the new folks who come to town are create some kind of a social gatherings for them. So we're going to put together some newcomer clubs, and it might be young professionals, it might be people who have interest in certain areas, and through those social opportunities we're going to provide a little bit of education about the town. You know, maybe we'll have the mayor speak, maybe we'll have an event at a park where people can do some sort of recreation. You know, we don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, but we know that we do want to help the new people find each other and find out what there is to do here and make some friends and, feel like they're a part of the community.
Are you also receiving calls from the general public just for help finding jobs? Is that part of the role?
Really we are receiving some calls from folks who are fairly new to town, who kind of slipped in before this position came about, and they've seen it advertised and they're wondering what it's all about and whether we can help them. And the answer to that really is yes. We do hope that people will contact the chamber if they are struggling at all with finding employment, if they're new to town, if they don't know how to connect socially, if they're maybe have questions about the schools, anything that they need to kind of help them understand what Austin is and what Austin has to offer for them. We're happy to help.
And you mentioned, I should have mentioned this earlier, that it's an offshoot or part of the chamber.
Right.
But with other employers are also, you're meeting with people from some of the major employers, some of the smaller ones, to kind of get a handle on what's important to them.
Right. So you're right. A big component of this job really is connecting the trailing spouse of any of our newcomers to employment. So I am connecting with the major employers in town just to kind of determine what their needs are as they bring in folks, and how we might be able to actually connect our business community together. If someone has an opening here and another employer has brought in an employee with a trailing spouse, maybe we can help connect the dots. So one of the things we'd really like to do is fast track any of the newcomers who are looking for employment to at least to an interview with another employer in town, and let them meet some people, find out if their skills fit that employer, or maybe get a little bit of advice or some direction, so that they feel like they're making some connections in the community and they can go forward.
Wonderful. Well, community concierge Kristen Olson, City of Austin. You're not bad on this TV stuff.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I can't take any credit for it. It's not hereditary. I mean, that doesn't count here, right? But
Right.
thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
All right. And that'll do it for this edition of On Cue. I'm Eric Olson. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next time.
On Cue is a production of KSMQ Television in Austin, nonprofit public television.